Understeer for days, and then any throttle makes it oversteer. Not great. Gears are rather short. Oh, this is real good. Top speed is 133. 241. Oh, are you thinking we're gonna hit the limiter? No, we've got 2 more gears. Alright folks, make sure you like and subscribe if you like this video. I enjoy making videos. It's a lot of fun. And I would be very grateful that if you like my content, you would continue watching it. Alright folks, this car has nothing to do with today's video, but what we are going to do is go to the auction house. Today in the auction house, we are looking for cars that have been tuned by the owner. Ones that are not ridiculous, like an S2 class Toyota. No, probably not. Like this one, S1 809, tuned by the owner. This is what we're doing. We're buying this one right off the rip. We're going to do this with 3 different vehicles, starting with this Alpine. It's an S1, which is kind of wild. All right, we have 3 things to judge these cars by. One of them is going to be top speed. Next one is going to be the lap time around the Horizon Mexico circuit. We're going to attempt to try and find some vehicles that are fairly close in range to each other, like all around top A, bottom S1. If not, we'll judge it according to the cars in their class. And finally, it is going to be ease of driving. That is all subjective. The ease of driving is to me. Maybe somebody else is going to be easier at it than I am. But let's go see what this thing's top speed is. Something I am seeing right now is that seems the front camber is -3 and the back is -2. That is awfully strong camber. I would be interested to know what the toe is, but I don't think we're going to be able to. Actually, you can kind of see the front toe is pretty aggressive. This part of it, interesting. The rear doesn't seem too aggressive. It actually seems like they're pointing inwards a little bit. That's okay. Little interesting, that one. All right, we are on the freeway. Let's see how this thing does top speed wise. 207, 208, 209. We're touching the red line. 210, 211, 212. Here we go. 213, 214, 215. Keep going. 216. 216 is where it's hitting the limiter. Interesting that the brakes don't glow red on this one, stopping from 200 miles an hour to 0. All right, Alpine's top speed is 216. I'm writing this down on my iPad next to me. Let's see how this thing does around the track. This is where I am worried because of the camber and all that stuff. This might be a bloodbath. All right, let's jump into this. We might cut to the flying lap unless this thing tries to murder me, and then I'll just interject whenever. Ooh. Understeer for days, and then any throttle makes it oversteer. Not great. Oh man, the understeer on this thing is horrific. They have too much camber, and oh, I think the suspension is a little bit too stiff. Yeah, it just plows through the corner. It needs to be a little softer in the front. The camber you can kind of work around if you have the right suspension settings, but these not great. Flying lap time, here we go. We have a target of 58 seconds. Yeah, there's no chance. There's a very loud plane flying outside my house right now. Money shift it. Stomp on it. Oh, she does not have the power accelerating in 4th gear, but oh, it also doesn't turn very well. Thing's rather stiff, rather rigid. Oh. Can't accelerate too much in the corner because I think they don't have wide enough tires on the back. I didn't really take a look at those all that much, but I do know that the way they have this thing set up, oh, camber and toe wise it's not terrible, but it's too much. It's a little bit too much, and the suspension is definitely too stiff. Oversteering coming into the corner, or understeering rather, and then as soon as you hit the throttle, oversteering it. Yeah, drifting around the corner, not ideal. Oh, yeah, we have to take that way too slow. We are currently 10 seconds behind my personal best in S1. Then again, we aren't anywhere close to top of S1. All right, we took a more aggressive line through there. 1078. We got a whole second. That is good enough for me. All right, folks, on a scale of 1 to 10, the ease of driving on this thing is like a 5. It's got too much power. It's not got enough grip through the corners, and it understeers. It's not terrible, meaning it's manageable. It's not going to be at all competitive. If you're just driving around in free roam, I'm sure this is fine. But if you're trying to do a race with it like I am, it's not going to be competitive, especially because it's a little low on the class up here. It's 809 instead of 900, which, to be fair, is fine. I knew we were getting into that. That's why we are comparing it to other cars in the same range, hopefully. Let's go back to the auction house. Oh, there you go. I can't buy this because it's DLC and I don't have it. I'm not buying it, but funny. Oh, perfect. This one's higher S1, so we can still kind of compare it. But it's got a wing on it, which means it's probably tuned for racing, which is good news for us. Let's take a closer look at the tires real quick while we're right here. They're not too terribly cambered. It doesn't seem like there's very much toe at all. There might be a little bit. I think these are semi-slicks? Okay, it's hard to tell. Oh yeah, they're semi-slicks. Rear tires also very little camber, if any. Not toe. They might be towed just a little bit, but it's inwards instead of out. It's hard to tell. Let's go see this thing's top speed. Oh, it's raining. Lovely. Oh, it's all-wheel drive as well. That's good. Gears are rather short. Oh, this is real good. Top speed is 133. So they put a rear wing on it, but they didn't. It doesn't seem like they tuned anything. Honestly, I'm thinking this is all standard, so technically still tuned by them. They did something to it, but not good. They probably increased the downforce on the rear, and that's it. Well, this is a rather good comparison because our last car's top speed was 216. This one is 133, and it's all-wheel drive. So let's see how it does with lap time. Honestly, it probably is gonna do better, but only because it's all-wheel drive and it can turn. Any place that has longer straights, this car is gonna get blown out of the water. All right, previous best time 107.8. Let's see what we can make this thing do. Oh, those short gears are, oh boy, we're in 6th gear coming on the front straight already. That's, oh jeez Louise. Oh, the turnings, it's not terrible, but that's because it's front wheel drive. Oh, I take it back, it understeers like a mofo. Yeah, they cranked up the downforce on the rear wing big time. Well, our top of S1 class car is not going to be the greatest of them all. Wonder if we can take this corner at top speed. Oh, we can't, because that understeer is bad. All right, we already got a 105 somehow. I have no idea how we just got a quicker time than that Alpine, because it seemed like it was much easier to drive, and it was freaking... Oh boy, whatever. I don't know how this makes sense. This is why we do these things. 104. We're gonna do another one. Dude, this car is... It is so close to being sub 1 minute. All it would need is gears that aren't so short. That's literally it. I could almost guarantee I could make this thing go sub 1 minute with gears that would let me get up to 160 maybe. Anything better than 134, 133. Even if you take the wing off and you extend the gears, this thing is like a 1 minute car for sure. Oh, wall tap, that's fine. Don't care. That's a 104. Oh, I'm gonna keep going and see how good I can get this. 103.6. You see what I'm saying? I could take 3 seconds off of this thing easy if I could be doing 170 right now. Well, this thing was around 4 seconds quicker, but it is also at the top of S1. The other car was at the bottom of S1. That gap should be the other car. Like, that other car we were racing was my personal best. This one should be up there somewhere right next to it. For our final rating for this car, I am giving it a 5. Once again, the handling is atrocious. It understeers. The suspension is too stiff. There's too much downforce on the rear wing. The tires have too much pressure in them. It's just, I mean, it grabs really well, but it's also on very, very good tires. All-wheel drive, that's why. But, you know, it's quicker than the other car, it's for sure, but it is all because of that little purple number right there. Oh, perfect. One right in the middle as well. Perfect. So the stock versions of these are 829, which means this one has, oh boy, 900 horsepower and weight reduction. Got a smaller engine, so they put... Okay, this is gonna be fun. Take a quick peek at the camber. Looks maybe about normal. I don't think they did much. The toe probably is about normal as well. If they've tuned this thing, they've done something to it, but I don't know what. So we've had a bottom of S1, a top of S1, and this one's in the middle. And it is rear-wheel drive, revs to the moon. It's gonna have a very high top speed. These gears are massive. Here we go. This thing is going to have a ridiculous top speed. It'll be as fast as possible for this car, that's for sure. Third gear, 192 miles an hour. Holy shit, son. I really hope this thing isn't tuned for top speed, because if it is, it's going to be impossible to race around the track. We are doing 230. That's good. 241. Oh, are you thinking we're gonna hit the limiter? No, we've got 2 more gears. 241, 242, 243, 244. 244. Come on. Nope. 243 is all we got. This thing is rather quick. It is, oh boy, I'm not looking forward to racing this one, to be honest with you. Camber is -3 in the front, -2 in the rear. Tire pressures, I think they lowered them because we were just doing like 100, 200 miles an hour. The tire pressures are a little higher than they normally would be. They're probably like 29, 28, and maybe it's probably 28 all around, to be honest. This one, I think, is going to be the fastest car if I can actually drive it. Here we go. Wheel spin city for a minute, and then hopefully we can actually make a clean lap with this thing. All right, you can ignore that first time because I hit the wall right off the rip. Not ideal. Oh, she's a little slippery. Doesn't have a ton of downforce, which is fine. The suspension does actually not do too bad. This one's definitely easier to drive than the other cars. 103.8. Yeah, that is almost as quick as the last car. We're gonna give it another lap or two. Now that I'm actually getting used to driving this thing, we're not sliding into the corners. Yes, this car is definitely much more fun to drive than the others. It actually handles not terrible. It needs some help on the gearing for sure. We didn't do a better time there. We're pretty close, but oh yeah, it needs some help on the gearing for sure. 1033, that's more like it. I think that's probably as good as we're gonna get. This one's gears are restricting me quite a lot. There's not a lot of downforce. Other than that, this thing drives fairly good. It's a little tail happy. Not terrible. Honestly, in ease of driving, I'm going to give this one, honestly, I think it's a 7, which is 2 points better than the last cars, but honestly, it could be a little better. There's just a few things wrong with it. Suspension changes a little bit here and there. Some downforce would be nice, and it will fit into the S1 budget that they have left on this car. Fix the gears. For heaven's sake. Now, I'm going to show you guys what it's like to have a basically perfectly tuned, that's my opinion, S1 car take it around this track. You may say to yourself, why is this car only a little bit faster than the Dodge if it's that much easier to drive? It's very simple. Those PI points make up a huge amount. That Dodge that was on S1 was at the top of S1, and it is a huge game changer. Like, PI points honestly are very important in this game. Now, I'm debating on whether picking a car that might tear my head off or one that's going to be super easy to drive. Honestly, these are all like super easy to drive. Oh, maybe we'll take, you know what? This is honestly the best we can do. Why would I not take my S1 Charger when we had one that was top S1? I'll show you the tune for this real quick. You may think this is stupid, but hear me out. It works very well, and you will see. So we got 22 and 23.5. The gearing is stretched out all the way to the end. Top speed of 217, which is probably what that other car should have had. 2, -6, 5, 4, 7. Perfect. That should work very well. This should be all the way down. It was not. So 1 and 65. It's very soft in the front, a little more stiff in the rear, but not by much. Damping 2021-1 as per usual. Aero all the way up at the front, and the rear just a little bit of room to play with, so we can adjust it just a little bit if we need to. Brakes are fine where they are, always 100, 0, 100, 0, and 80. This thing should be fairly quick. It's definitely going to be quicker than 1033, I'll tell you that. So, this car is also all-wheel drive. As you saw, it's on the same tires. As you can see, I just have the power balanced in such a way that it prefers a little bit more oversteer versus a little more understeer, but this thing is going to be ridiculous. That other Charger had a 1036 for its best lap. That was a 1028 on our first lap. That is what I mean. We're keeping up with this Corvette here, which is ideal. This car is rather rapid. It's just what happens. I have been tuning in this game ever since it came out, and I watched a video on how to do it, and then I found my own way of doing it, and I showed you guys what this car's tune was in case you want to copy it. Oh, you just have to build it in your own preference, I guess. All right, almost sub 1 minute, like I was saying the other cars should be. You can ignore that lap because I tail slapped it there on the way out of that one corner. That's fine. We'll catch him this time. We got him. I should also mention that this car is the easiest thing you can drive. Like, if you just throttle down where it says to throttle down and brake where it says to brake and follow the line on this, you can put down a very good time. You can even take it a little cautious and brake a little early, and you can still put down a good time. Come on, baby. Dang it. We're gonna get sub 1 minute, I promise. If this thing wasn't so fat, it would probably put down a pretty good time. It needs to lose about 600 pounds, and then I think we'd be all right. But then we'd have to get worse tires and blah, blah, blah. We could probably tune it better a little bit, make the tires a little softer or whatever. but I think this is about all this car's got to give. I'm sure somebody out there could make it go quicker than me and tune it a little different, but I just follow the same blueprint I always do, and this thing is rather rapid, as you can tell. Oh, 102. I'll take it. That's fine. That's close enough to sub 1 minute. Either way, folks, it just goes to show you how knowing how to properly tune in this game can really increase your chances of winning. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions about how to tune or anything along those lines, just hit me up in the messages. Or if you have any suggestions for videos, also like and subscribe and stuff. And again, thank you for watching. See you next time. Alright folks, make sure you like and subscribe if you like this video. I enjoy making videos. It's a lot of fun. And I would be very grateful that if you like my content, you would continue watching it.